Tonight I'm just working on this painting. My wife is at a sewing lab working on school projects and just got my son to bed. It's pretty late. I already started this painting, not much left, just kind of the line work. It's gonna be Valentine's Day present for my wife. So yeah, let's get to it. It's an acrylic painting. I originally painted like the whole thing blue and then painted over that. You know what? Well, I originally thought it's Valentine's Day. I feel like the stereotypical Valentine's Day presents are pink, and I didn't want to do that, so I painted all blue. And then after painting it all blue, I thought, you know what? This would look better pink when I thought of the picture that I wanted to paint. So then I went over it in pink, and now I added some red highlights for the clothes. I'm just doing the outline. And it's gonna be a painting of me hugging my wife based on a picture that my cousin took when I proposed to my wife. So hopefully she likes it. Recently, my wife has been taking a bunch of classes and I graduate in July. Just working on my portfolio, trying to get that ready so I can apply to some jobs and really working on, I uploaded my website. I have an official website, showcase a bunch of my work. Hopefully employers like that. It's nice though, after getting my son to bed, being able to just paint. I don't have a lot of free time, I'm working on a lot of stuff, and so taking this opportunity after he went to bed to try and make this nice Valentine's Day present. Watching a lot of animal documentaries with my son. Saw one about oysters and the water around New York City. It's pretty fascinating. Talking about the amount of water that oysters can clean up. I mean, it's incredible, like natural water filters. Need more of them out there. Kind of reminds me of how on Yellowstone, there used to be an abundance of bison, so much so that everybody thought the bison would never disappear. Then we nearly hunted them to extinction. It's kind of the same in New York City with oysters. There were so many oysters that just kind of ate them to extinction almost, but now they're coming back. The waters are getting cleaner there. It's pretty cool. It's something to be hopeful about. It's kind of random. Decided that I'm going to do this kind of dark purple color as the outline. I think it goes well with the pink and the red color that I've done. This probably isn't the best angle for the camera to be set up, but kind of with the limited space I'm working with, it's kind of the best solution. Sometimes I like to flip the canvas around to just get different angles. Put on a little too much paint there. Spread that out a little bit. You know, I used to get really frustrated when I would set paint down, it wouldn't go down exactly how I envisioned in my mind. But the more I paint, the more I draw, I'm kind of happy with the imperfections. A kind of variety of line weight being different than what I want. It's kind of cool how whatever medium you work in, it kind of does its own thing in different ways. If you're working with watercolor, it kind of bleeds a bit more. Acrylic, it dries so fast that kind of whatever you do, you can paint over it pretty fast. So I like acrylic paint. You have a lot of choices. You can make a lot of changes fast. You can layer up the paint really quickly. I used to paint on really thick and do lots and lots of layers. The last few paintings I've been trying to make it a lot less layered, less thick, and still get texture, but just focus on more line work, having more simple compositions. Left a lot of negative space at the top of the canvas with this piece. So I've been thinking about different things I could have done or what I could do still. Thinking about doing mountains because me and my wife met in Utah, but I think I might just do a border. That's this kind of purple color around the edge. I thought it'd be kind of sweet if I use maybe use my ring somehow. And I'll do like a print using my ring. Might be interesting, if that makes any sense. Really, I love just creating and painting and drawing and creating videos all day. I thought, you know, why not make a video of me painting? Because I like watching people do crafts. I like watching people paint. The son's asleep, so it can't be too loud. But painting doesn't have to get that loud. It's a nice, calm activity. I'd use this canvas, I drew like a bird underneath it. Still kind of see the texture of it. I decided to just paint over it because I started that bird painting a while ago and just didn't really like it and didn't want to finish it. So just let it sit, kind of, I moved with it. I brought it, just carried it around with me a little bit. So we moved. Glad that I'm finally making something kind of worthwhile, more interesting, I actually like with it. I also saw a documentary about beavers recently, and it was about how beavers basically limit the spread of wildfires naturally through their dam building, and it's pretty cool stuff. I'm being pretty careful putting on these lines because whatever I put down is just what's gonna be. So taking some concentration. Getting into claymation recently. It's been neat. Working on an ABC claymation. Along with that, doing like an ABC business book. My sister, she wrote it. I'm illustrating that book, but I'm trying to finish that up this week too. It's a show called Primal. It's very violent, but good show. Cartoon. If you like cartoons, and they managed to make this whole series where you kind of really feel for the character and care what they're going through. And it's a caveman, so he doesn't even really talk at all. It's just, I think that premise of having a show or movie where you keep the audience entertained and watching, not even much dialogue, I think it's hard to achieve. And I think it's really cool. Whenever a filmmaker or person who makes cartoons or whatever can achieve that. You know, I feel pretty confident with my ability to draw hands. A lot of artists don't like how their hands turn out. But honestly, on this one, she like those, my wife had those big like nails she got at the nail salon. And I'm not sure I like how I made them. They kind of remind, especially with the decision I made to make it all pink, reminds me of those like old Halloween witch hands, long fingernails. A little bit about me. Grew up in two places mainly Madrid, Spain, and Connecticut. Both were good experiences. Now I live in Idaho. I really enjoy being here, but also, long winters. So when I graduate in July, really open to wherever I have to move for a job. Hopefully I get a job. I have to move for a job. I'm hopeful. I do a lot of work. Work on a lot of creative projects. I've been really working to develop skills that would be relevant to kind of marketing, content creation, junior art director positions. Really, I'll be happy doing. As long as I get to do something where I feel somewhat fulfilled doing something creative, I'll be super happy. I could just make stuff all day. Love making music. Oh, if I could, I have so many ideas for albums I want to do, and I will do them, Takes time, and I'm working at it, and I'm doing it. Trying to make an animated, it was always my dream to make an animated music, movie. And because I love The Yellow Submarine by the Beatles as a kid. And so recently when I was editing, I was like, I could edit all these music videos that I've already done together. Be pretty interesting, and I have a lot of animated music videos off of the last album I put out. So I just kind of need to make a few more animated videos, and I can just put all those together, and I'll count that as my first animated movie. Not completely like a cohesive story or narrative or movie, but I'll be happy that I at least somewhat accomplished that goal to the best of my ability when I started it. And that'll be a good jumping point to where eventually I'll have an album or have a collection of songs where I say, hey, you know what? These would be a really good movie all together, and they make sense. So, trust in the process and just doing as much as I can along the way, and also, trying to have fun with it. It'd be cool to make some cool advertising too. I have some spec ads up that I've made for vans and for various brands and stuff. It'd be neat to actually work with some of those brands and make some cool stuff for them. They're working for them or however. You know, I personally, when commercials come on TV, I get kind of, I don't know if angry is the right word, but I try and turn it off as fast as possible. But it's interesting because I'll look up ads and I'll watch ads as entertainment if it's good or if it's something I'm interested in. I mean, especially if it's stop motion, or if they have like a cool behind the scenes video. I've seen a lot of brands did that for the Super Bowl, for their Super Bowl commercials. Talking about the Super Bowl commercials, there's a landscaped one with it's kind of like stop motion looking hair. It was talking with the googly eyes. That was good. That was a home run. I like the Look at Death one was pretty good with the exploding heads. I think any of the ones where they just didn't do like weird stuff to people's faces and kind of didn't rely on celebrities, instead just tried to make the best Super Bowl commercial that they could, or most interesting, was kind of what I found more interesting, where they just took it to kind of unique creative places, kind of like that hair one. The talking toilet one was kind of fun. Remember in the past there was a wiener dog one where there's just a bunch of I mean, anything where you're able to fill people with joy like that, that's a good commercial, and people remember it for years to come. I like documentaries a lot. I think it's interesting. So what movies do is they kind of capture life in the kind of abstract sense of capturing a version of life. Documentaries, you know, there's a lot of editing and there's a story that's being crafted, but at the same time, I think it's definitely a more real picture of life. There's a guy called John Wilson. He does like documentaries on HBO, or he has a show called, I don't even remember what it's called, but I love it. It's really good. A lot of good episodes. He takes it to really interesting places. He's coming out with one documentary about cement, which sounds like it wouldn't be, I mean, that sounds like a stereotypical boring thing to be a documentary about. So I'm really interested on how he approaches that and it turns it around and makes it an interesting thing. I think one of my other goals with making a video, me making a painting other than like a kind of entertainment value, is that I do want to get better at just talking to the camera, being kind of familiar and more natural at it. As someone who likes making videos, I think it would just be a helpful skill to have. You know, probably could have done another layer of the pink underneath. There's a lot of you can see the different colors underneath, but at the same time, I like it. I like the texture that's coming through. Well, the music I'm putting out, put it out under the name McDev, if you're interested. I made a claymation music video, which I think the song is really good, and the video, I'm proud of how it turned out. It's kind of like my first attempt at doing kind of longer claymation. They said it's kind of like a new medium. Trying out this year as a goal. I've always I like Gumby. I liked all the holiday specials that were stop motion. Big fan of the movies, those are awesome. And if they're hiring anyone sees my work, I've applied to jobs there as well. Marketing positions as well, but kind of open to any positions where I can create and learn and make as much stuff as possible. As I said. A meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. with my kind of boss's boss. I asked him to go over my portfolio. So looking forward to that because I'll be able to make changes, make it better. But at the same time, me going over it with him means I have to make changes, make it better. So that'll, it's another thing to work on. Isn't a bad thing, but it just takes up more time. So far I like how this is turning out. Honestly, with the could have done better on the fingers on the front hand, but on the other hand, rather like the fingers. Might look at this later and feel differently about it, but Valentine's Day is coming up, so gotta get this done. I like how the red, I let it spill over past the lines. When you're a child, you're told that you need to kind of paint in the lines. As you get older, you kind of grow an appreciation for the work that goes outside the lines. So you know what? That actually looks a lot better. It's more interesting. When I was a kid, I spent a lot of time using coloring books. I remember the frustration I would feel, almost like rage, when I wouldn't paint within the lines. Looking back on it, you're like, wow, It was just coloring in someone else's drawing. It was a relaxing, just fun activity. It was kind of the lowest stakes, lowest pressure kind of project you could do. Just coloring in a coloring book. And you know, when I approached art in general, I'm like, well, it's all kind of like a coloring book. You can just kind of do whatever you want. As long as you're having fun doing it and you know you're somewhat happy with what you make, then that was good. You did it. Did what you were supposed to do. So I'm getting close to done. Got this nose, and then I got an eye, an eyebrow. Oh, but I can't forget. I was gonna do a little border. I'm hesitant doing a border. I think I could ruin it, but besides, it's not really ruining it. I'm just making it else. I think I want to curve this nose a tiny bit. I think I want to texture these eyelashes. Get like flatten them a bit, or curve, not look like. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna quickly wash the brush off. Okay, I'm gonna go a little crazy here. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna dip my ring. Maybe I want to put some paint on this paper here. Experimenting. This is fun. Maybe I'm just gonna use this brush. Flatten out this paint a little bit on here. And we're gonna try dipping this ring in here. Just nice even spread. Didn't go quite as planned. Okay, let's try again. Okay, that's a ring. Make it a little bit of a mess. Do like pliers or something. More paint on here. It's a little messier than I thought it would be precise. But printing isn't precise always. They're like natural, like older methods of printing. So just embrace it. Just doing something different, something interesting. You know, just making a big mess. But I started it, so I'm gonna finish what I started. Not a fan of quitting. Okay, I might as well use this paintbrush that I already got paint on. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna paint like a little border in this painting. I'm gonna do it about here. Close to the edge I wanna go. A little closer in here. That's where that's gonna connect. You know, I think it makes it more interesting to have that little, just having a line there to the two circles connected. Something to think about. Here, my arm in the picture is so close to the edge. Should I just purposely hit my arm? Just go even with the line? Like, yeah, just go for it. Arm's gonna be hitting the edge. Even if I don't make another painting video, I'm gonna be working on other creative projects. So, you know, if you like creative projects, hopefully I make enough that there's something you want to check out or think is cool. Done a lot of animated music videos. Looking back, some of them are really good, and some of them aren't my favorite. But I'm just, you know, you kind of feel like as a creative, you just have to do what you feel you need to do. And one thing is a building block to learn what you need to learn, so then you can do the next project. And then you keep going and keep making projects, keep getting better and better. I think as like someone who makes videos, someone who sculpts, someone who paints. If you sew or crochet, whatever your craft is, you know, it's like an instrument. You gotta practice, put your hours in, and as you put those hours in, you know, fine tune your taste and what you like, and get better. I think anyone can get pretty good at kind of any skill if they put their mind to it and, you know, keep working on it. I think I'm gonna make them a little thicker to kind of even out the size, but maybe if I thicken up to even out the size, maybe it'll get it too thick, and then I have to even out the sides. Then it's a vicious cycle where I just have to keep making the line work thicker and thicker. You know, I think I'm happy with that. I think it's pretty cool. It's unique. I'm gonna sign with a smaller brush, corner here. You know, I used to have like a silly signature. It was like just trying to neatly write my name out in cursive. And you know, I think they should have like they need to teach young people how to write their signatures, because it was pretty, I mean, I was at least 18. Well, I think older. By the time I had a signature I was happy with. I'll write the date in my signature, kind of. Right, it's 2026, right, 2026. There we go. Here, I'll show you. There it is. That's the painting. It's me and my wife. We're hugging. This was right after I proposed to her. Corners there are made up of my ring, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's it. Good talking to you.